How did you get into Smash?
My name is Victoria Perez and I'm VickyKitty. I had heard about the competitive Smash scene after playing casually with my friends. We used to do these type of things called like turf wars, where we used to feel like the best players of our city. We were born and raised in Miami, so we actually used to get a few other people to come to the house, and we used to play them casually, of course, not even tournament setting, until one day I was exposed to the competitive scene and I heard about it, so I went to visit a local. And I fell in love almost immediately. It was like one of those, like, you had to go and then experience what it felt like to play in an actual tournament setting. And the vibe of the community itself kind of really set the tone for me in wanting to play more competitively. So after that first local that I went to, I actually proceeded to go to more locals for the next 6 months.
My name is Stango, and my tag is Stango. I got into Smash playing with my cousins and like a lot of his like longtime childhood friends. We would like play in my aunt's basement, and we would play 64, we would play Melee. We were really competitive when we first started, because it was around the time of like 07, 08 when like the Melee metagame was like starting to get a lot more widespread in terms of like how to play, thanks to Smash boards and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty much just me, my cousin, all of his friends, and we would just try to compete against each other and see who's the best.
My name is Justin Hallett. My gamer tag is Wizzrobe. My neighbors, who I was really good friends with, I'm still really good friends with, they got a GameCube and they got Smash Bros. Melee and Zelda, and we played Smash Bros. Melee, and from that point on, as soon as I played it, I just like fell in love with video games, and it was like unlike the feeling of anything else at that time. When we first played the game, it was like my first time playing a video game, so they were better obviously, but once I got a GameCube, I was always better than all my friends, especially in Smash. I'm known as a Melee player, but I was always a big fan of all the Smash games. The whole franchise as a whole, I'm a big fan of Smash, so I tried Melee, I tried Brawl, I wanted to try 64, and then I finally tried it and I loved it as well, so I just want to be good at all the Smash games because I love the whole franchise.
What's up, I'm Chris Aldernerfer, and my gamer tag is Toph. I got into Smash, it was actually back in college, where I was a freshman, and I was hanging out with some friends that I actually knew from the DDR community, and I was at like hanging out at one of their houses or something, and one of them said, yo, at the University of Washington where I went to school, there's actually gonna be a Smash tournament, and I was like, oh, a Smash tournament, I'm good at that game. And long story short, I went to the tournament, I found out I was not good at the game. But yeah, I got into it. There was a local Smash club. One of the notable members who was in that Smash club was Vish. And Vish was the best player in the club at the time, so he kind of showed me the ropes, and we just kind of stuck with it, and here we are 10 years later, and me and Vish are still here. So, yeah.
My name is Stevenson Bamadelli, and my tag is Bam, obviously after my last name. Basically, I've been doing Smash for probably a little over 10 years. Basically, I had a bunch of friends who would play 64 with each other all the time. And so we were doing that, and they would just destroy me every single time. And I used to just get mad because I was just like, I'm so much better at them in terms of other games, why can't I beat them in Smash? So it became a thing that we'd always play. Melee came out, I'd play with them, and it went to a point where I recognized I kind of love this game because it was such a great challenge. Like, there's a lot of other things I'm like, oh, these things kind of come more easily to me, and for that, I love the fact that like I wasn't good at it, so I had to learn, that I had to break the game down. And then finally, these guys are like, oh, well, I don't think you're gonna beat it. So I was like, next one, I'm gonna go in. So I went in and Brawl, and from there, that's when I actually found the Smash community. I met up with this one guy, Souza. Some people may know him. He was a snake that basically, he's the one who broke down the rolls from down throw. So I kind of came into it in terms of like an analytical perspective, because we're trying to just gather data and figure out what makes this game tick. And so that's really when I started going out, finally started going to tournaments, meeting new people. I used to go and just like play a lot of times with like Mike Hayes and Tyrant. I really tried to learn the game the best I can, but that's really where it all started for me.
I got into Smash because I loved the original game, and then I guess more specifically for competitive Smash, I wanted to get the edge on my friends, so I found Smashboards. And then through lurking on the forum, I ended up finding my first competition. I played Isaiah, got whooped, but I got addicted really quick.
My name is Phil Visu, aka Visu, aka the Phenomenal EE, and I'm an esports commentator. I got into Smash Bros originally back in like 05, 06 when I played Yu-Gi-Oh at my locals, and you know, I mean, we'd always go back and forth at Yu-Gi-Oh, and at some point we all I don't know, we just had like a sleepover before a tournament or whatever, you know how kids do. And one of the guys had a copy of Melee on the GameCube, and we all just started playing or whatever, you know, talking crap to each other. And I don't know, like it was one of those things where like we didn't want to lose to each other, like actually. So like at some point we all just got GameCubes and Melee and just started like training. And I remember we convinced the store owner. It's actually Toy Wiz, the site of the first revival of Melee. Fun fact for you, I used to live in New York, and we convinced them to have a tournament there for Smash, and it did really well. I had like 40 entries on the first one, and like my friend Chris won it. I think I got third place or something like that, and it was like really popular. But the thing is, it was so popular, like people from New York heard about it, and I remember like Dyer and Wes and some guy named Big L, he played Samus or something, came up for the next one and just absolutely obliterated us with like wave dashing and L cancel. What the heck is this? You're modding the game. You know, we didn't know what was going on, you know. And what ended up happening was they introduced us to the site Smashboards, and that's where we like found like all this useful information. Shout out to Smashboards. And my first ever and still favorite comic video to this day by DBR. That's legendary. So that's how I got into Smash Bros.
Hi, my name is D1 Alamingret, and my tag is D1. I got into Smash through the Calibur forum. First game was Soul Calibur 2 competitively around early 2004, and after I got destroyed in 2004 at my very first Soul Calibur 2 tournament, main reason for that is because they made us play on PS2 when I first started on GameCube controller, but no Johns. In any event, on the Calibur forum there was a general discussion, and on the general discussion they talked about Pro Smash, and it linked me to MLG, and from there I saw like videos of like Captain Jack and Isaiah and Ken, and I was like, yo, it's crazy seeing these characters actually moving the way they move, because when I played Melee it did not look that fast. So my interest got piqued, and I decided to check out Smashboards, and one of the first threads that I saw was Cunning Kitsune's guide for Fox and the character specific forums. Also, I saw a tournament, this was still in December of 2004, a tournament that was going to be happening in 2 months, which was hosted by Deadly Alliance, and this was called Gauntlet. So I then went on to attend my first ever tournament in February. But as far as like Smash is concerned casually, I've been a fan since 64. Like when I saw on IGN, they had this trailer for Smash Brothers. I remember I freaked out because I was like, fighting games are really, really hard for me to pick up, back then at least. And the only game that was easy for me to play was Soul Calibur. You know, you just press a button and you hold the direction, and then it was kind of similar to Smash in that respect. But I just never thought, you know, but going back to before 1999 when 64 was released, I never thought there would be like a simplistic like fighting game. So when Smash got released and I had all those characters that I loved, I was really happy to pick that up. And plus the commercial even sold it too. Like that 64 commercial really got me into it. So I'm from 64 straight to Melee, like I've and beyond, I've been a big fan of Smash Bros.